Hello, everyone. Dr. Vicky here, speaking to you from the Seeds of Transformation Healing Center. It's time for Taroscopes again. We're going to be doing the Taroscopes for the month of May. That's May 2025 for the sign of Cancer. That's Cancer Sun, Cancer Moon, Cancer Rising. Before we get started, I want to welcome my new subscribers. Welcome to this wonderful community of like-minded souls. To my tried and true who have been with me for years, it has been quite a journey. Oops, it's been quite a journey that we've walked together, and I really do appreciate you. To my new members on my YouTube channel, thank you so much for supporting me in that way. There will be more things to come as I learn how to work with having a channel. I do intend to do some lives specifically for my members and some videos specifically for those who want to dig deeper into the astrology, Kabbalah, and numerology of it all. Now, I also and can't forget my Patreons. Thank you so much for supporting me all these years. I really do appreciate you. There will be more coming for you as well. All right, everyone, let's get started. So, we're going to take a look at the astrology for May, and then specifically how it affects Cancer, and then we'll do a card reading. So let's jump into that right now. I almost sneezed. Sorry, I might sneeze yet. Hi, everyone. So let's take a look at May, just in general. As we're looking at this, we can see the Tree of Life in May. We can see where things change on the Tree of Life. Of course, the sun changes signs. We have Mercury going through 3 signs this month, and we have Venus stick into Aries. We have a full moon in Scorpio and a new moon in Gemini. So we start May with a conjunction of Venus and Neptune. Important because Venus and Neptune are intimately associated with each other, as Neptune is the higher octave of Venus. And this conjunction occurs at 1 degree of Aries. Remember, at the end of March, um, um, Neptune moved into Aries, the 1st degree of Aries, for the first time since 1861. So it's been a long time since Neptune has been in Aries. It takes Neptune 165 years to go around the zodiac. So most of us, well, all of us will not live through a full Neptune cycle. However, countries do, right? And so that's more reflective anyway of the collective, the Neptune energy. Of all the transpersonal planets, the only one that we can live long enough to have a return is Uranus, which is symbolic of the awakened man. So, but we don't get there till we're 84. So it takes a while to wake up on planet Earth. Okay. Important also because that 1st degree of Aries is a world point. And Venus is coming out of her retrograde cycle. In fact, she just moved into Aries just a few days before she conjoins with Neptune. So it's a pretty important starting point. On the 4th, we have Pluto, one of the other transpersonal planets, the one furthest out that we look at least. Um, Stationing retrograde at 4 degrees of Aquarius. It has gone as far forward in Aquarius this year as it's going to. It's going to go direct, it's going to go retrograde. And then at the end of the year, it does go direct again, but it doesn't reach 4 degrees until next year. So we're just sort of going over the space that we've progressed through, those first couple of degrees of Aquarius. Remember, at the end of 2024, November 20th, I believe it was, we had Pluto finally leave the sign of a Capricorn and move into Aquarius, where it stays for about 19 more years. So we have plenty of time as Pluto moves through Aquarius. On the 5th of May, that's 5-5, the 5-5 portal, Cinco de Mayo, we have Mercury making a waning sextile to Jupiter. This offers us information that we have been accruing over the last year to inform us of things, to tell us how we can work in a more progressive way and in a more humanitarian way as we plan for the future. On the 6th, Venus makes a waxing sextile to Pluto. This opens the lines of communication between our values and the world soul. On the 10th, Mercury ingresses into Taurus. It's been in Aries for a while. Aries is fiery, it's initiatory, it's passionate, it can be angry sometimes, but now it moves into Taurus. It takes a whole lot more for a Taurus to get angry, but don't attempt it because it's not. If they finally do, it's not pretty. Um, but we do become more practical and pragmatic in the way we're thinking as we move through May. On the 12th, we have a full moon in the sign of Scorpio. And we also have Mercury making a first quarter square to Pluto. That's a crisis in action square on what was seated at the Mercury Pluto conjunction, which I believe occurred at 1 degree of Aquarius. And now we're at the point where we feel the need to take an action. That first degree of Aquarius speaks of creating things that will last the test of time. That, when we look back 2, 3, 400 years from now, we'll see where we have progressed to. So we have a lot of progress that we have to move through as Pluto goes through Aquarius. And I'm sure we're going to get quite a bit of that progress done. Although, from this perspective, we just keep looking at the past and saying, I don't want to relive that. And so we don't need to. Or is that really the way? The way is forward to the future. And if we keep uh, discerning the future by the past, it doesn't really work because we're moving into a new level of consciousness. It's time for us to raise our minds, raise our hearts, raise our vision for what humanity can be. On the 17th, this will be helpful for raising humanity to what it should be. We have a conjunction between the Sun and Uranus, the Great Awakener, Uranus, the man, the Adam Kadam, Uranus, the higher self, the higher mind, Uranus. The Sun illuminates. This is happening at 28 degrees of Taurus. And we're also going to have another conjunction of Mercury. I believe it's Mercury. Let me see here. Mercury conjunct Uranus at the very same degree. So we have the Sun come to this degree, make a conjunction, and then we have to Uranus, and then we have Mercury. So we have the illumination, and then the mind stuff comes in. That's happening on the 24th, the conjunction of Mercury. We'll get back to that because there's other things important happening on that day as well. On the 18th, we have Mercury square Mars. That could be argumentative, that energy, so be aware of that. On the 20th, the Sun ingresses into Gemini, and so we're moving into that Gemini part of the month. It's a little bit more open, it's a little bit more exploratory, it's a little bit more curious. The beginning of May is really generally when the Sun is in Taurus, is put your nose to the grindstone, get the gardens ready, um, you know, uh, take care of you in your own garden, and then once the Sun moves into Gemini, we get a little bit more willing to go outside of the garden gate, as it were, and see what's going on in the neighborhood. We also have the day that the Sun ingresses, the 20th, that the Sun ingresses into Gemini, a waxing sextile between the Sun and Saturn. This helps to bring some structure and stability, and perhaps some traditional knowledge that actually will be helpful for us as we move into the future. On the 22nd, we have Venus making a trine to Mars and the Sun making a waxing sextile to Neptune. This is the Sun sextile to Neptune is friendly. It is friendly. And then the Venus Mars trine is a nice energy. The 22nd looks like a really nice day. And then the 24th, just a few days later, we do have some intense things going on. We have the Sun making a waxing trine to Pluto. That's a growing trine. That is egoic. There's a lot of egoic energy there, but it does sort of illuminate the self-expression of the world soul. That is also the day that Mercury conjuncts Uranus, as I said, at 28 degrees of Taurus. And It's the day that Saturn ingresses into Aries. Yes, Saturn is moving out of Pisces, ingressing into Aries. Now, we'll go back into Pisces to do a little bit of last minute stuff and then move into Aries at the beginning of next year, where it meets up with Neptune, which is pretty much doing the same thing, but they're a little on a little different schedule. So they don't actually meet up until February. But they're very close to each other, Saturn and Neptune. And Saturn is structure and Neptune is dissolution of structure. And it's at the end of a cycle of their cycle together. So as Saturn moves into Aries, now that Neptune is in Aries, this I think is when we're really going to see a breaking down of old systems. And then those systems can be religious systems, just systems about the way we think about things, but a further breakdown of what we have known to be the way things are previous. On the 25th, Mercury follows the sun and ingresses into Gemini. So now Mercury, which is the planet that rules Gemini, in Gemini increases the conversation. So there's a lot of dissolution, but there's also a lot of conversation. There's a lot of discussion about how we can move forward. What are we going to need to do? Remember, we're in a 9 year this year, and I didn't really talk about that when we were looking at the Tree of Life, but I will point that out at the end of this little bit. We are in a year where it is about letting go of that which no longer serves, but keeping the seeds for the next cycle, right? What do we want to bring forth into this new cycle, and what do we not want to bring forth into this new cycle? We also have the day that Mercury ingresses into Gemini, a sextile to Saturn, again bringing that structured energy into the way we think. On the 26th, Mercury makes a sextile to Neptune. This is opening the lines of communication to spirit. On the same day as a new moon in the sign of Gemini, Mercury rules Gemini. New moons are about new beginnings. And so that Neptune energy in there brings a spirituality to the new beginnings. On the 27th, Mercury makes a trine to Pluto. This is a flow, a creative, self expressive flow between the planet of communication and soul. And on the 30th, we have a superior conjunction of the Sun Mercury. That means the Sun Mercury are conjunct in the sky. However, the Sun is on the opposite, the Mercury is on the opposite side of the Sun to us. So, in a way, it acts like an opposition, giving us some perspective. And it gives us perspective around the Gemini issues, communication, and the need to communicate. So as we look at the Tree of Life, I'm just going to bring this back to you. We are in a 9 universal year vibration. So this Hermit card, sharing our light, shining our light when the night is darkest, we see the most stars kind of energy. That is happening all year. That's the separating the wheat from the chaff energy. It's located here on the Tree of Life. So this path is very active. 9 is about forgiveness. 9 is about humanitarianism. 9 is about endings and new beginnings. We're in the 5th month, and so this path gets activated. This is the path of the Hierophant. This is about wisdom. This is about ancient wisdom as well as traditional wisdom. So we have access to both those things. Really, it's about listening to that small, still voice within. You know way more than you know that you know. And so, but if you can open to that voice, it's going to tell you stuff, and you're going to be like, oh, I see. And then if we add these two vibrations together, the 9 and the 5, we get the third vibration, which is specific for May 2025, and that's the 14-5, which is the Temperance card in the tarot, and it is the path of the mystic. So we are all walking the path of the mystic in May. All right. So that's what is kind of just the general vibe. And let's go specifically to Cancer. Let me move through these signs quickly. Okay, so here we are with Cancer. This is the Cancer part of this particular astrology. If you notice that the majority of planets are up here at this time, this part of the chart, this is the most collective part of the chart and also the most public part of the chart. when you see a lot of planets in this particular section, sort of the last quarter, if we were to take this circle and cut it into four, this is it, and seasonally, we could say the first three are spring, the second three are summer, the next three are fall, and the last three are winter. And so this is about sort of being out there. And so people with the Cancer energy will find themselves being out there, being very public, which, Cancer isn't always, happy about that necessarily, but certainly very helpful. And Cancer really does like being helpful. The sun starts the month in the 11th house of friends. We also have Mercury there, although Mercury doesn't start there. Mercury actually starts in the 10th house and then moves into Taurus and then moves into Gemini. So we have a lot of movement with Mercury this month. That's because it just came off a retrograde cycle, and usually what you'll see is with the retrograde, it sort of stays in the same place for for a long time as it goes back and forth over that area of the chart. And then once it comes out of retrograde, usually you'll like spend 2 weeks in a sign instead of 6 weeks in a sign when it does when it's retrograde. So it moves through pretty quickly. So Mercury is going to be moving through that last quarter of the chart. People are going to be listening to what you have to say. It's important for you to speak up and speak out at this time. The sun then moves into when the sun moves into Gemini, the sun actually moves into your 12th house. Jupiter is already there. Jupiter through the 12th house is your guides are close. Your guides are close. It's very lucky to have Jupiter in the 12th house. And we do have that new moon also in Gemini, which is towards the end of the month. We actually have the full moon first, and the full moon is going to be on this axis, the 11th, fifth axis. That's the axis of love. The fifth house is more personal love, where the 11th house is more collective, friends, people of like mind, people who vibrate the same way, that resonance that you feel with people when you're on the same page, right? Whereas the fifth house is a little bit more personal, romantic love. There is a full moon there. And it's in Scorpio, so there's a lot of passion, a lot of opportunity for some really passionate love here. Um, excuse me. Now, Saturn, allergies, I apologize. Saturn starts the month in Pisces and then moves into Aries, as I said. And so Saturn is going to be in Aries in that 10th house of public. Saturn likes being in the 10th house, not as excited about being in Aries because Aries is a starter energy and Saturn likes traditional and staid but it is an opportunity for us um to start creating a new structure for a new way of being, right? Aries is all about being. Here's Neptune still in Aries. It still has a little while in Aries before it skips back into Pisces. This month it'll definitely be in Aries, bringing a cosmic, more cosmic consciousness, or even Neptune is often considered like a collective energy, the power of the collective, right? Coming into that 10th house, it could bring you to new levels of awareness to the world. So, very exciting time for Cancers in May. And there's Pluto in the 8th house. It's going to stay there for 19 years. And Mars actually now moving forward in the 2nd house. This can actually bring quite a bit of resources in for you. And of course, Mars in Leo is a creative, self-expressive energy in Mars. And so this is a time to, if you're in sales, this is a good sales time. If you're a creative, this is a good time to create things that will bring you resources, 2nd house. So really kind of an exciting period, May, for the Cancer. Now, I'm a Cancer. And I love May. May is one of my favorite months of the year here in New England. It's like just starting to get warm and it's all green and the flowers are coming out and most of the bugs aren't out yet. It isn't until you get to the heat of the summer when you have the mosquitoes and the flies and it's a little bit you have to sort of run away from some of that stuff. But That's not here nor there. All right, so that is the look, the look for Cancer for the month. Now let's do a card reading. And I believe last month I used the Thoth deck. So I'm using the Good Tarot this time. You guys get a break. It might have been the month before that. But everybody gets a chance with the Thoth. So this reading is for the sign of Cancer, Cancer Sun, Cancer Moon, Cancer Rising. What does Cancer need to be aware of in the merry, merry month of May? We'll see if the cards reflect what the astrology is indicating. As far as like what's the best thing to look at, should I look at my sun sign? Should I look at my ascendant? The astrology is really sort of focused a little bit more on the ascendant, although you can also have all those experiences if you don't have a Cancer ascendant and you happen to have a Cancer sun or moon. I find the reading sometime, the card reading is more like a sun sign thing, but again, don't limit yourself to that. If you can and you have the time, check out the sign of your sun and the sign of your moon and the sign of your ascendant. Okay. All right. Oh. All right. What do we have? What do we have? Ooh, the Eight of Earth. So this is a lot of work, a lot of work. Um, this is a sort of like an apprentice, but an apprentice becomes a master. You can't become a master without apprenticing. So this is about applying yourself to what you love, what you're good at, uh, uh, what you do best. The eight of Earth is a Virgo energy, and so what do you need improving upon? What do you need to do best? Okay. Let's see what's challenging that. The Wheel of Fortune. So this is change. This is change. And so you're applying yourself, you're doing your work, and the world continues to revolve. There's ups, there's downs, there's ups. And so this is important to just focus on what's in front of you, do your work despite the ups and downs that you're seeing. Stay centered in yourself, and you should be able to move through this time. Underneath it, we have the page of of cups, or the page of water. This is a message. At the root of it is a message of love, a message of hope, the good news. This is the good news. And so if you're applying yourself to your work, you're bringing out the good news, even though a lot of the news that you see around isn't always so good. In the past, we have strength. Yeah, it's been a real journey, hasn't it? And you have exhibited great strength. This is an energy of self-expression as well, and being willing to speak out and speak up. Cancers are relatively shy and not all that like out there, but if they love something and they feel like they're protecting it, then they're out there, believe me. Excuse me. It's definitely spring. Okay. In the sky, temptation. This is the devil card in this deck. So this can be the outside world can look dark. It can look like people are making the wrong choices. There can be addiction issues. This could even be being addicted to chaos, being addicted to something that helps ease the pain that we're seeing. Remember, Cancer is a very empathetic sign. And so even if you're not paying attention to the news, it doesn't mean you're not feeling stuff. One of the challenges of Cancer as a sign is to really understand, what am I feeling? What is this feeling about, right? So there's quite a bit of darkness in the outer world. And the cure, or the what's the word I'm looking for? The antidote to the devil is mirth. And so spend your time when you're out doing things, or if you're watching the things that are going on in the outer world, make sure you add a little humor to it. Uh, make fun of it or watch things that are going to make you laugh. And maybe try to avoid some of the more difficult stuff to watch. Um, it's one thing to know what's going on, but it's another thing to spend so much time knowing what's going on that you're not applying yourself to what you can do. And so it's important that that's what you do. Remember that Eight of Pentacles at the beginning. Um, this is the card for the month pretty much because it's the immediate future. So I usually see this as the month card. And we have the Four of Water. This is maybe a need to retreat a little bit, to evaluate, to see uh, to avoid that divine discontent that comes at times like this. Like, what does it really matter? Like, what I'm doing, how is that making any difference to anybody? Things are so crazy and awful, but it does make a difference. It makes a difference to you, and that is the most important thing. How it's seen from the outside. Um, People see that you are Eight of Air, the Eight of Swords, that you are doing your best to navigate a very difficult time, trying not to get caught in your mind and really just following your own intuitions on things. Your domestic situation, oh, the Six of Air. So this is things are calmer and more peaceful at home. So perhaps you'll spend, and of course, you're a bit of a homebody anyway, Cancer. And you probably have a garden, so you're going to definitely need to stay at home to tend that garden. But this is about moving out of troubled waters. This is about moving away from the conflict. Use your home as a way to move away from the conflict. So if you have like say somebody that lives with you who's like spending a lot of time watching the news and it upsets you, you see if you can, like, they can watch it somewhere else. But you want your home to be peaceful. That's going to be what helps you to navigate this time. Hopes and fears, the Queen of Waters. Yeah, the Queen of Waters, the Queen of Cups. It's the queen that can see things. So hopes and fears, you may hope to see what you want to see. You may fear what you're seeing. Um, Again, focus on that which you want to bring in. The outcome, the Six of Fire, the Victory card. The Six of Fire. So that's a good card. That's a good card. It's like you winning the war kind of, although there are no winners in war. I understand that. Winning the conflict, perhaps, winning the conflict. And the Fool, a whole new way. So getting through this month is going to bring you to a whole new level of understanding about your place in the world and what you can contribute. And it requires a leap of faith. It requires that you're exactly in the right place at the right time. Let's see what's underneath. We have the Hermit. That's the card for the year, right? The Hermit card. This is about wisdom that you've accrued. The Nine of Air can be anxiety. Um, and the Two of Air, balance. So utilizing the wisdom from the past, and when I say past, I mean past lives, to help ease the anxiety and bring balance into your life. So the past can be a valuable tool, especially past lives, Akashic records. Uh, and remember that that nine vibration on the tree of life connects the heart to the throat, but it connects Tippereth, which is on the center of the tree, the place of mediation, um, to the place Hesed where the Akashic records are. And so we have access to those Akashic records. We're in a 9 year. We're utilizing the information we have gathered over the last 9 years and information that we've gathered from previous lifetimes, because we couldn't do this without the information from our previous lives and our understanding around that. Now, you may say, well, I'm not really connected to my previous lives. How am I going to use that information? You are if you listen to that small still voice within. You don't have to have a regression or a session with somebody who does Akashic records, although you could, that would be great. But it's not necessary. So take the time to find that calm place in your home, bring in that sort of meditative energy, ask for help. Cancers sometimes forget to do that. And just say, Spirit, what do I need to know, Spirit? What do I need to know? What, and ask for it. And then sometimes I know for me, I ask for it and then I don't always recognize it. And then Spirit has to hit me over the head with it. So ask not just to know, but to recognize it. And so you don't have to like waste time or get hit over the head, which is really nice. All right. One more thing. I am every month I pick a one oracle card, and this month I am using Spirit of the Wheel meditation deck. I love this deck, and I'm just going to pick one card for Cancer. I just want to put my cards together here. Okay. And this is a deck that I picked up in Portland, Oregon, one of my favorite places on the planet. And it's by Linda Iwashina. And oh, Jesus. Sorry. Not Jesus. Although she may know Jesus. She may have a personal relationship with Jesus. Let me see if I can focus this in for you guys. There it is. That's who it is. Okay. All right. Let's see. What What is the message from the Spirit of the Wheel for Cancer this month? What is the message? What is the message? What is the message? Remember that the United States is a cancer country as well. You can apply these readings to countries, to political figures. Who's a cancer? Elon Musk is a cancer. I'm trying to think who else, like major people who are in the news right now who are cancers. He's the one that's sticking in my mind. Of course, the United States is a cancer. Yeah, Canada is also a cancer country. All right, let's see what we have. East, Waboom, new beginnings, thought processes, and inspiration. It's a 10. 10 in the tarot is the Wheel of Fortune. So that's the change, right? That was the challenge. Okay, I'm going to read this. I'll hold the card up so you can see it because they're so pretty. And I like to read right out of the book because the information, this is a very well done cards, and the information is fantastic. And it can be said much better than I can say it. See, we have an eagle there. I'm just trying to focus in for you guys. Whoops. There we go. Isn't that beautiful? The east is the place of the eagle. I believe it's air in this system. Okay, let me take off my glasses. It's very small, so I can't actually read it with my glasses on. New beginnings, thought processes, and inspiration. Here's the prophecy. It says, as you look toward the east and watch the sunrise, feel the gift of inspiration growing within. Be aware of a new path emerging before you. Before you take that first step, be well aware of your thoughts and energy that will ultimately shape your future as a self-fulfilling prophecy. Let the passion and inspiration of the East card give rise to a fresh new start and a new horizon. The winter months of inner reflection and rest are over. Spring is here, and it is time to make new plans. Begin preparing the soil and planting the seeds for your tomorrows. The East card signifies that opportunities are coming your way, so behold, be bold and seize them. No matter where our past has taken us, we always have a choice to begin again. The East card reminds us that change can bring us closer to our calling. Every day holds opportunities for growth, and every moment is a gift of life. And this is your prayer. Spirit powers of the East, fill my heart with the illumination of the rising sun. Help me to accept the opportunities for growth that are coming my way. The seeds I plant today will be the future for generations to come. Let me be mindful of the energy I put into my thoughts and into my life. Mindful living, a very powerful thing indeed. All right, guys, I hope you enjoyed that. Like and subscribe if you're not already. I will see you again next month for the Taroscopes for June. Until then, have a wonderful month, and I hope to see you on the channel. Take care, everyone. Namaste.